All right, we are back, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so tired from talking. Oh, all right, calm down, everybody. We got to go to our next one. Jenny,
Always.
hi. How are you doing? I haven't seen you in person in so fucking long, but that's because you're a working woman.
I know I'm a working woman, which is a weird thing. But now I'm a working woman in a way that I think might actually let me have my dreams. So we'll see.
Your dreams. Tell me all your dreams, honey.
It's just that like the jobs I've had have always like very much hindered me wanting to be an actor or a voice actor or do Twitch and like the things I want to do. And even like the one I've had recently has done that. And I wanted to avoid restaurants because I can't do it anymore, which is something we'll talk about because that's how we met. But
Segway?
I segue, but the one that I just got, they're so like the girl I'm taking over for just like booked a Broadway show, so she's leaving and they need a replacement. And I was like, "Excuse me?" And they were like, "Yeah, we know this is not your dream, but we're also all very good at the job, so we're gonna cultivate the space to do both." And I was like, "Fuck." So I'm really hoping that that is true, and we'll
We'll
see.
see. She's got her afternoon coffee. I need to text you
Oh,
about
I've
getting
got my
tickets.
tea.
Oh, it's a tea. Amazing.
Um, oh my
Um,
gosh, yes, you get tickets through me.
okay, great. We'll do it. So, chat wants to. Yeah, Elle, how did you guys meet? You dropped a hint, and we want to know. Chat wants to know how we met. So, Jenny and I. Do you want to tell it?
Um, sure. So my roommate, Lisa. Hi, Lisa. You'll never watch a Twitch in your life.
Jenny is
Um,
very quiet. I'm gonna turn. Can you turn yourself
oh
up a little
shit.
bit?
Is that better?
Ooh, yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
That's
Hi.
great. Okay. Ooh,
Turn me the fuck down again.
that's
Hi.
perfect. Amazing. Okay, chat. Sounds way better. That's great. Thank you, Thor Thunder and Yael. So, your roommate Lisa.
So my roommate Lisa, again, will never watch a Twitch in her life, but hi. Um, she and I moved to the city together to pursue our Broadway dreams, which is harder than we thought. And she started working at a restaurant, and I was like, I'm never doing that. No, thank you. And she spent a year working with you
Yes.
and a bunch of our other friends at this restaurant on 46th Street, which we're not going to name here because they don't deserve the promotion.
He was a waiter, honey. He was a waiter.
And my other friend worked there too, and I spent a full year listening to the two of them talk about like Steven and Golly and Maddie and like all our friends, and I was like, I don't care about these people. Like, stop talking about them in front of me. And then I started working at the restaurant. And I mean that was it. I met all of you, and then the you guys don't really talk to them anymore, but you're my best friends. So
It's true. I haven't talked to Lisa or Roxy in a very long time, but yeah,
no.
Jenny started waiting tables at this not to be named restaurant, and there was a Sunday brunch, I think it was, where Jenny and I were working together. I mostly worked the brunches. And there was a, yeah, I'm about to blow your mind. Ready? So there was a Sunday brunch, and I believe I'd made an Arrested Development quote. And you stopped
Yeah.
and you said, "Wait, you like Arrested Development?" I was like, "Absolutely, I fucking love it." And we started quoting Arrested Development. And then in that same brunch shift,
I blew
we
myself, Micah.
I blew myself, my God. It's a banana. What could it cost? $10. Um,
I don't care for Job.
so we got onto Marvel, I believe, is how, and then I immediately knew. I was like, this, she is one of my people, like, and our friendship just took off from there. Toss, toss, honey. Like,
Toss.
since then, Jenny, you have become quite the TikTok star, if I am not mistaken. She's like, no.
A TikTok star is someone who has millions of views. A TikTok wannabe is me with like maybe 20K followers, which sounds like a cool number, but not on freaking TikTok. It's not. But it's still fun. I
It's a
like
cool
it.
number
It's
to
really,
me.
yeah, it's really stupid. And like, I love making stupid shit that makes people feel like, I don't know,
Well, so
they
I
gotta
mean,
laugh.
yeah, but like you're a comedy writer. Like in my mind, when I sell you to other people, like you are a comedy writer. Like you
Yeah.
know how to write comedy. You know how to do it very quickly, very efficiently, and very well. And I think that that helps you in that content creation space. It also helps you in your Twitch space too. Like I think that you're like. Part of me is like, how much does she pre-plan before the goddamn stream? Like, how many jokes has she written
Me?
out? But yeah, sometimes you like, I'm like, she is on it. Like,
Oh, I've never planned a joke for a stream in my life.
I planned the journey joke. Full transparency, I knew I was going to make the journey joke on this stream at the very top.
Well, that's the difference too, is like you do this wonderful thing where you're so prepared for your streams, and I sign into the computer, light a match, and go, we'll see. You know, like I ain't never prepared a day in my life. The most I prepared is I was like, I'm gonna do dubstep Christmas, and I added a song.
You added a
And
song. You like changed your whole layout too. I love that. Like
I
revamp
did.
you
It's
did.
so pretty. I
Yeah.
love downloading Pro, paying for it for 1 month, and then just having my stuff set up. It's so pretty.
Absolutely. Me too, Jenny. Me too. I'm with Jenny. The chat's with Jenny. Light a match, see what happens is the theme apparently.
Well, if
So-
you're in my stream too, like you tend to know that when it starts, it's getting better, but we'll have like half an hour about fucking around with technical difficulties that I swore weren't going to happen.
So yeah,
So-
let's talk about streaming because Jenny and I got started like close to the same time, and I think one of the things that we constantly joke about is how bad we were at solving technical problems.
Ugh.
Taking us so long to do it, and now I think we were texting about like we're so proud of ourselves for being able to solve that like almost immediately, like so quick. But like, let's go back. Let's go back to when we first started. Like, how did you get started on Twitch? What was the inspiration? And how big of a dumpster fire was it when you started?
Well, so I started trying to stream like December of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do it during the pandemic, which was a mistake, but I was like, no.
Yeah.
And I started by downloading it all, setting it all up from my MacBook Pro and being like, this is enough, right? It's not.
This will be great.
You can't stream from that because it'll overheat and explode. Which I learned because it
Did it really explode?
No, it didn't explode.
Okay, I was
but,
like, damn.
It just, the fan would go, and I was like, I'm so sorry, baby. Like, and now my fan has never been the same because I tried to stream off of it. But honestly, like you and a couple of our other friends started streaming, and I was like, I really want, like, I always watched Barry's streaming. That's always been my favorite streamer, and I always was like, I want to do that, and I still do, and like just we grew up, we were lucky to find each other and select few other people, but for the most part, I've never been able to talk to anybody about games, not the way I want to.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to stream because of that. And then watching you do it and watching the first time I set up, Dan was there in the stream, Dancing Ninja 35, and was also really helpful and encouraging. And that, like, we were lucky to kind of grab onto a community really quickly. And yeah, I mean, it was fun. It's weird. I'm still kind of figuring out what games work and what games don't and all that. But getting the tech, I'm also one of the few people who's out here streaming. I got a Mac desktop, which I need because I'm an editor.
Yeah.
But streaming from a Mac, while beautiful and ends up working out, it takes 20 more steps to do anything that it does on a PC. And I'm like, you chose that, but
We chose this life. But isn't
My
that like,
God.
that's the thing about technology too, though, is that, you know, you got to balance your work life and your stream life because this isn't our full-time job. Like, we're not doing this all the time. But I was streaming off a MacBook Pro, and it was like, that was, if y'all remember back in the day, the skipped frame rates, the dropped whatevers, like, it was just so glitchy because like Macs aren't really built to do, at least a Mac laptop is not built
No.
to do that. And so yeah, when I got my PC, I was like, is this a good idea? Because I'm only going to use this to stream. I'm not a PC gamer. Like, I'm really not. I have one game on here that I don't even play. So I'm really just a Switch gamer. But it's such a hard decision of, like, do I invest? Like,
I think there was also the fear that we would start doing it and then like it was kind of a fad in our heads and then we'd stop and have spent all this money and gotten all these things and been like, in a year we won't be doing it anymore. And so I think it's really great that it still happened, like that it's like, oh no, I do love doing this. And especially like now we have Stream Decks and now we have like, I started using my Nikon, which you didn't know I had. And you were like, why are you using it? And you know, it got better.
Yeah, it did get better. To be honest, with my editing, I'm learning DaVinci, but I absolutely hate it in comparison to Final Cut. Final Cut Pro is just so much easier, but having my video content.
You've just said an editor thing that everyone would throw up on you.
Oh really? Oh no, I'm so sorry. I canceled. Everybody unfollowed, unsubscribed.
Final Cut is a garbage. It used to be so good, and then do you have X?
I don't know. What is it?
Yeah, garbage.
She doesn't go here.
I swore by Final Cut, and now I use Premiere because I'm fancy. But yeah, no, Final Cut is interesting for sure. If you like it, like I'm not gonna judge you.
It's just really easy. But then again, everything on Mac is really like user friendly, whatever that means. Figuring out what game to play. I know we have had many, many private conversations about like, I don't know what to play. The things that I'm playing aren't bringing me joy. And how can I do that? Like, can you talk a little bit about your journey? Because I think I know a little bit more on the back end side than.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really hard because when you start streaming, I was realizing like how much games bring me internal joy and how much it's very much there's like an adventure happening in my head as I'm playing it to just with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so, especially like open world games and everything, so much of it is just traveling and feeling immersed in it that I was like, oh, I don't actually know that this is great for streaming because I invest myself so much in my own time that I don't necessarily like sharing that in that way because I feel like I have to be entertaining people when I just want to be like immersed in it. Like I'm doing Forbidden West right now, and I really like the idea of streaming it because it's so popular and I've waited for it for so long. But I find much more joy in playing it by myself because it's so open world.
Yeah.
But also there's like moments in the plot when I'm like, I really want to share this with people, so it's kind of a hard line to walk. And I'm finding that like I never thought the Zelda games, for instance, they're so legendary and they're so everyone has legendary. Oh,
Hey, legendary.
you don't watch that, guys.
Get on it.
What's it called? With all the Zelda games, it is so much fun to stream because all the Zelda streamers run over to your stream because they want to watch you have certain reactions to certain things. I never understood how much fun they could be in that way. And so I'm kind of realizing that you could see what Dan just said. You could always record your gameplay and turn it into a YouTube Let's Play series. That's kind of what I've been leaning towards with open world things where I'm like just kind of having the reaction there. But I do like sharing it with people. But I guess like the afterthought isn't that bad. And like seeing people react to you reacting later, like could be kind of fun.
It's a layer on a
and
layer
also
on a
like
layer.
yeah, you kind of introduced me to the gamer TikTok situation, which is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been really hard to like certain games I try and then I finish my stream and I'm just like I'm really depressed because there was like nobody in there and there was the people that were in there, like I didn't care about the game and I didn't want to play it. And it's like, I never want gaming to be a chore. A chore. But I also don't want it to, I want to share it with people so bad.
Yeah.
It's like I could talk about Marvel for 7 hours and not get tired. And people go like, okay, let's move on. I'm like, I don't want to. I wanted to share this whole thing and I want to keep sharing it. So I want to do that with games. And it's a hard line to walk between it being like stale and not.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's like, I like full transparency. I navigated that with the Shining Pearl Nuzlocke, and like Yael knows, I
know what a Nuzlocke is now.
Oh, great! Yes, amazing. Okay, good.
I know about this.
I don't have to explain it. But like, I felt the same way of like, I started out, and the beginning of that Nuzlocke was so much fun, and so many clips, so many like moments that were really exciting. But then as we started to play the game and I started to actually lose Pokemon and started to understand that there's an emotional investment and impact that's happening to me, and the fear of failing at the Nuzlocke was so hard that I was like, oh God, do I continue doing this or not? And I haven't picked it back up yet because I still am trying to decide that for myself. And is that also a type of stream that I want to go through and put myself through for the sake of the story or the journey or the adventure for the chat? Because Listen, I'm a super bubbly, fun person, but Jenny knows, I get angry. There's still
You got some demons in there.
I got some demons in here, and getting
Are.
angry, right? Getting angry is a really, really difficult emotion for me to process,
You
and
get really
so
angry and I get really sad.
so here we are talking about our emotions. It's a healthy, positive stream.
Yes, it is. This is a stream where people should feel safe.
It's a safe space.
Well,
But yeah, yeah.
the other thing of it is what I would like from Twitch,
Mm.
very much
Mm-hmm.
so, is monetary. And that feels like such a taboo thing to say. And it is because if you ask people for money in weird ways, or if you're not doing it in a careful enough way, people don't like that because it's like, you should be here because you love it. And it's like, I simultaneously love it, but also would love to be making enough money in all these small ways to support it more and have more time to do things. And like, I, even just the pride for myself of being like, I am making money playing games. That's what I want, but I do not know the line yet of being someone who's just constantly like asking users for donate and do all these things. I never want anyone to feel in my channel like they have to give anything. I want anyone to be there and just enjoy their time and share that gaming with me like 100%. But then also the other part of me is like anyone who can. I'm not going to be one of those that's like, "Oh my God, no, don't do that." It's like that's what you're supposed to do, and there's certain things where it is shocking and it is like, "Holy shit, I can't believe you just did that," and blah blah blah, but I also
Mm-hmm.
want to be like, "Thank you so much for doing that," and be able to like accept it when people do that, and I have a hard time doing that because
Yeah.
it feels uncomfortable, but I'm also like, "But that's what you want people to do." So it's like I'm constantly like, "I'm sorry, I don't know."
Yeah, that is so I struggle with this a lot. The balance between understanding that it is a platform that was built for monetization, right? And to want to be able to financially support yourself to do the thing that you love doing. And at the same time, it's such a dichotomy of like, but I can't ask for it. So I just have to do the do and hope that people
And
like
hope it
it
comes.
and
Yeah.
hope it comes, right? Like, and so that's why like the whole thing of self-promotion is such a tricky thing that I am starting to unpack, and Enrique and I packed a little bit of it. But like the same thing with I hmm, the I love partnered streamers. I watch them because I can look at what they're doing and figure out how to make it better and see how to
Mm.
improve, because I think that like that's a good thing to look at. But like at the same time, I'm like, listen, this is your full-time job. You're doing this 8 hours a day and you're streaming 4 to 5 days a week. So you have to be financially supported by it, right? And where does the line get drawn in the sand? And then maybe where does the line get erased and get redrawn? You know, like it's such a tricky space to navigate because as human beings, we want to be humble, we want to be grateful, we want to be supportive and appreciative of all the people who literally are right now watching this fucking stream. And I am eternally grateful for everyone being here. But the the
Also, we're
idea
broke. I mean, I'm broke.
but like the removing the expectation is so hard. Every time I sit down for a stream, I've
So
had to say to
hard.
myself, Steven, don't expect anything from this, because the moment I put expectation into it is the moment I risk disappointment or sadness or whatever. And that's really, really fucking hard to remove sometimes
Mhm.
because we want it to be so good. I literally had to take 5 minutes before this stream and like say, I'm really nervous, but I have to not care if
Yeah.
nobody could show up, and that's fucking okay because I did the thing. I went to Party City and I did the stupid
got a
fucking thing.
pinata!
I got a pinata, like, you know?
Which I thought was an animation behind you when it started, and I was like, "Oh, cute!" And then you started hitting it, and I was like, "Mon Dieu!"
Brony Slayer, if it's like you're supposed to want it, but if you admit you want it, you have an agenda. Even though the definition of going
Yeah.
pro is making money, Twitch is making money off of you, so you deserve to make money too. Hey, Mark's coming in
Right.
with the tea, honey.
Truly. And like it's yeah, I mean Twitch makes so much. And it's like one of those things where the market for Twitch is so saturated at this point that there is
Yeah.
an understanding that the partners are what make money And then everyone else, I mean, it's going to be pretty difficult, if not impossible, to be making any kind of steady quote unquote income off of it. But, and so it's one of those things where we've talked about this. I'm like, I'm not expecting that. But there's this thing that I have to work so hard with myself to be like, if nobody gave you doll hairs on this stream, that does not mean you were a failure because people are coming
Yes.
and they're enjoying themselves,
Yes.
and that should like
Yes.
that's
Yes.
enough. And that doesn't mean that you are less because, like, just because you didn't get a paycheck this month off Twitch, like, good Lord. It's
Absolutely.
hard for me. It's hard for me
Absolutely.
as someone who, is like constantly working and constantly broke and spending nothing. And I'm like, what? Like, it's a
Yeah.
bitch. But the point is that I love streaming so much. And then it's like, then doing the work to be able to stream when that's taking so many hours.
Yeah.
And then not being able to, I'm like,
Yes, the audience, the live audience just went crazy over that. Like, yes, absolutely. So here's my hot take, right? And like, this might be controversial, but again, as Enrique said, I'm not going to give a shit about what people say. Here's my thought about this, and I've really been I've been thinking about it and planning it out because to me, one of the things the stopgap I feel in Twitch is that if viewers are a funnel, right? We as content creators should be showing viewers new people to watch, right? That's the whole thing. Like, it goes back to, I'm a big fan of making space for others. There's a great book called Give and Take, which is about like being a giver and being successful in being a giver. And I said it in Wizard of Time's tweet the other day. It's like, people believe that there's only a certain amount of pie on Twitch and that everybody's taking what piece of the pie that they can. And I'm over here like, bitch, why aren't we making more pies?
yeah.
Like,
And also
or
they
making,
can.
or making the pie bigger. And so in that way, it's like, if we want to grow the community and the platform, my personal hot take here is that I don't think partners should be able to raid partners. I think that what happens is when partners raid
Oh.
partners, you funnel all the viewers into the same block. And I think that it would be really, really nice if that feature was implemented because then partners could raid non-affiliates and affiliates. And then affiliates can raid
really good point.
affiliates can raid partners and partners can raid back down. And what happens is viewers get moved through a funnel of new people to find. And
Love that.
instead
yeah.
what you have is I'm sure there are a lot of partners out there that are like, absolutely fucking not, that's a terrible idea. But whatever, like,
Also, I don't care.
I don't care because this is what I am finding as somebody who has been, an affiliate for the year. I'm not sitting here begging for like a 200-person raid, whatever. I'm saying that like when I watch a partner raid another partner and then raid another partner and raid another partner, I'm like, oh, okay. So where is the ability for new people to come up? And if Twitch makes money off of partners, Twitch should want the viewers to grow the streamer to get to there to push back down. And here we go. And like, so chat, that's my hot take. I've been thinking about that a lot and I was waiting for this anniversary to like say it because I was like, there's gotta be a good time. So thank you, Jenny, for the setup.
I love this. Well, it's crazy too because the good partners, the Wizard of Times, etc., they, for the most part, don't rate other partners. They could, if they want to, they have every right, but they don't. Wiz picks anyone he can funnel people to. DB Geek does the same thing. Like,
Yeah,
it's they,
1000%.
it's so if they're already choosing to do that, it's like the ones who won't, which is, I don't want to say selfish because it is completely their choice, so that's not fair. But I'm like, just make them go lower. Like, who,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. I have issues with capitalism.
Bezos can spare a few simoleons. Twitch would never go for it.
Simoleons.
Good word, Birdie. Twitch would never go for it because Amazon makes more money if you get rated into a stream that keeps you watching. Wiz is amazing. DB is legendary. Absolutely. And those are the people that like I really like gravitate to is the partners who are really helping grow the space, like, and not necessarily, keeping everything all boxed in. Jenny, we have 2 minutes left. Is there anything else that you want to say to the chat any wisdom you want to impart about your journey?
God, I have no wisdom. I have I believe that we should continue just not trying to make each other laugh because everything is shitty all the time. I think that the laughter is the most important thing to share with one another. And I also, I don't know, it's been really nice to just have a community so far, to like be a freaking nerd and not, you know what? I also will say, I really appreciate having a community that, as a female streamer coming onto this platform who was very worried about the way I was going to be spoken to, treated, etc. I have, for the most part, there's of course things, but for the most part had the luck of the communities that we know just treating me like what I feel they would treat a male streamer or anyone, like whoever else they're seeing on here, and just enjoying the moment with me playing. So that's been really, really special, and I hope it continues because it's rough, and it's been a really nice time to share with you and also share with like this whole community that we have so far.
Absolutely.
You know, and congrats on a year.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Congrats on your new role at the Public. Do you have a show
Dancing
tonight?
Ninjas, I love you. Yes, I
Yeah.
do. Oof.
Okay. Well, she's got to go. She's got to run to the theater, darling.
It's very important.
Yes, she is. Thank you so much, Jenny, for being here. I absolutely fucking love you. When can I see you in person? I'll text you, and it's going to be great.
Okay. I love you, Koppkopp.
Okay, I love you. Bye. Mwah.
Goodbye, friends. Mwah.
Goodbye.